Hi everyone. Today I will talk about the domain generality in the usage of confidence scale. This study is related to the computational model we recently proposed about metamemory process. Metamemory is the metacognition process involved in our memory. For example, when we try to learn some new materials, such as learning new words or pictures, we often need to use our metamemory system to monitor our learning process. For example, we often try to predict or evaluate our memory performance in the test. Based on the results of the monitoring system, we can then control our subsequent learning process, such as try to use more efficient learning strategy to help our learning. In the metamemory literature, one of the most important theories is called the dual basis theory, which suggests that when we try to evaluate our memory performance, our evaluation or our confidence rating is mainly affected by two factors. The first factor is called experience, which is the processing experience during memory process, such as the processing fluency when we learn each item. The second factor is called belief, which refers to our belief about the overall memory ability. Typically, this belief is developed before the current memory task. In a certain memory task, experience and belief can both independently affect our confidence rating about memory performance. However, few previous studies have built formal computational models to quantitatively characterize the metamemory process. So here we focus on how to computationally model the confidence rating process about our memory performance. Recently, we proposed a Bayesian inference model, or BIM model, for metamemory to explain our confidence rating about memory. The BIM model suggests that during the evaluation of memory performance, we need to use the Bayesian inference process to integrate the current processing experience for each trial and our prior beliefs about our overall memory ability. BIM model supposes that during the metamemory process, we need to infer the distribution of actual memory strengths for each trial based on the current processing experience. In this Bayesian inference process, we need to infer the posterior distribution of the actual memory strengths, which is the basis of the confidence rating. In order to infer the posterior distribution, we need two different kinds of information. The first is the prior distribution, which represents our prior beliefs about our overall memory ability. The second kind of information is the likelihood function, which refers to our thoughts or our knowledge about the relationship between the processing experience and the actual memory strengths in each trial. Based on these two different types of information, we can infer the distribution of actual memory strengths and then predict the probability of correctly answering each item in memory test. Based on the hypothesis above, we can derive an important parameter called Pexp from the BIM model. The parameter Pexp represents the proportion for the contribution of processing experience to confidence rating process. In contrast, the contribution of the prior beliefs to confidence rating can be calculated using 1 minus Pexp. In other words, the contribution of processing experience to confidence ratings is higher when the value of Pexp is higher. Based on the data simulation analysis, we can see that the value of Pexp mainly affects the usage of confidence scale or affects the shape of the confidence distribution. For example, when the value of Pexp is low, then we could see the variance of the confidence distribution is also low, or the confidence rating for different trials is close to each other. This is because when Pexp is low, we mainly rely on our prior beliefs about memory ability to rate our confidence for each trial. Then, our confidence ratings for each trial are closely distributed around the value representing our prior beliefs about memory. On the other hand, when Pexp is higher, we mainly rely on the specific or distinct processing experience in each trial to rate our confidence. So the confidence distribution has a larger variance because the processing experience may also vary across trials. In the current study, we aim to extend BIM model to a perceptual metacognition task, and we are interested in whether the usage of confidence scale is domain general or domain specific. In other words, we are interested in whether the value of Pexp is significantly correlated across metacognition tasks in different domains, such as across the perceptual and memory domains. To answer this question, we perform a meta-analysis on data from 6 experiments in the confidence database, which is a large database containing data of task performance and confidence ratings. In the 6 experiments we are interested in here, each experiment asks the participants to perform 1 or more perceptual and memory tasks with confidence ratings. This is the basic information of the 6 experiments. We could see that some experiments ask the participants to perform 1 perceptual and 1 memory tasks, while in other experiments, there were multiple perceptual or memory tasks. To perform the meta-analysis, here we first fit BIM model to each participant from each task, and then computed the correlation between the value of Pexp in perceptual and memory tasks in each experiment. Finally, we transformed the correlation coefficients to the features Z value for each experiment, which is then used in the meta-analysis. If there were multiple perceptual or memory tasks in an experiment, then we would average the features Z value from different tasks. This is the main result of the meta-analysis. We can see that the correlation for the Pexp across perceptual and memory domains is positively significant, suggesting that there is significant domain generality in the usage of confidence scale across perceptual and memory domains. Here we also investigated the domain generality, or the cross-domain correlation of metacognitive efficiency, also called metacognitive accuracy, which is represented by the value of the meta d prime divided by d prime, or the M ratio. Here we use the H meta d package to calculate the value of M ratio for each participant in each task, and then calculated the correlation coefficients for M ratio across domains. Here we focus on the single participant estimation of M ratio in the H meta d package rather than the results from the hierarchical Bayesian model, because the correlation coefficients based on the single participant estimation are more suitable for meta-analysis. From the results, we can see that although there is a trend for positive correlation of M ratio across domains, this correlation did not reach significance in the 6 experiments we focus on, which means that the cross-domain correlation, or the domain generality for metacognitive accuracy, was not significant. We also calculated the difference in cross-domain correlation between Pexp and M ratio, and from results we can see that the cross-domain correlation for Pexp was significantly higher than the correlation for M ratio. So here is the conclusion. We found that the usage of confidence scale represented by the value of Pexp is domain general. We also found a higher domain generality for Pexp rather than the domain generality for metacognitive efficiency represented by the value of M ratio. However, we should be cautious about this result, because here we use the single participant estimation of M ratio to represent the metacognitive efficiency for each participant. Although single participant estimation is more suitable for meta-analysis, it may be less accurate than the results from the hierarchical Bayesian model, which is indicated by the paper for H meta d package. Okay, so this is all of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.